UFOs Theory, The World Conspiracy of Silence. Introduction. The world has a highly suspicious situation in which many witnesses report observations of UFOs. They see these unknown vehicles not only flying in the sky but also landing on the Earth. Humans have no definitive confirmation of whether aliens really exist, for the witnesses have not provided substantial evidence. For this reason, it is appropriate to explore this question and establish the fear of the leadership of states losing their power over humans can substantiate the validity of the UFO conspiracy theory. Background information about theory. One widespread method of understanding and explaining social, political, and economic processes is known as conspiracy theory. Proponents of such scenarios attribute various events to the malicious will and deliberate efforts of groups of people, organizations, and nations. UFO conspiracy theory asserts that various governments and politicians worldwide, especially officials in Washington, D.C., are hiding evidence of the existence of extraterrestrial unidentified flying objects and aliens. Such conspiracy theory generally contends that Earth's leaders have contact or cooperation with extraterrestrials. Although publicly reported to the contrary, some of the theory's adherents claim that governments directly authorize alien abductions. Individuals who have declared openly that UFO evidence is being suppressed are Senator Barry Goldwater, British Admiral Lord Hill Norton, the former head of NATO and chief of the British Defence Staff, Vice Admiral Roscoe Hillenkoetter, the first director of the CIA, and Israeli Brigadier General Chaim Eshed, previous head of space programs for the Israel Ministry of Defense, have stated that they have had contact with aliens. Except for their testimonies and reports, they provided no evidence to support their statements and claims. The reasons for the theory of UFOs. It is essential to mention that the purpose of concealing the facts of contact with extraterrestrials is the aim of reticence. The first reason is the conspiracy that governments of nations are hiding the existence of aliens because people might be frightened by this intelligence. However, the authorities have conducted research and are confident that the evolution of aliens will not allow them to begin to invade the planet. In this way, the administration attempts to prevent citizens from constantly fearing and being excited about their futures. It is essential to note that a second possible reason for the existence of this theory appears to be the fact that there is a higher authority on the planet. That is, it is the representatives of developed nations who decide all earthly problems and direct the advancement of countries and the standard of living of human beings. Thus, without their permission, economic and cultural issues cannot change. These individuals have direct contact with UFOs and gain a specific advantage from such dialogue. For example, they can receive new technology in exchange for granting permission to explore and use the Earth's territories for extraterrestrial goals. At the same time, a third conspiracy theory reason claims that powerful politicians do not want to publish the X-Files because they are scared of losing power over their citizens. That is, they assume that when the aliens establish direct communication with humans, a social class of politicians, administrators, or even the government itself will not be needed. The explanation of the validity of the conspiracy theory. Humans who meet aliens cannot demonstrate their existence, but there is a response. This can be explained by the fact that people who had direct contact with UFOs could not record it because they were frightened and surprised. Many people remember the contact vaguely and sketchily as if someone erased their memory. Although, there are enough testimonies from individuals who have been associated with government agencies. They have not been intimidated into declaring that governments of various countries are not only in direct contact with extraterrestrials but also cooperate in different matters. For example, a few years ago, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, a former astronaut in the Apollo program, interrupted the conspiracy of silence by appearing on Fox News Live on TV. He violated his pledge of silence and stated that it was time to end government secrecy in this area and that the media was deliberately discrediting the UFO issue. Therefore, his position and access to data permit believe this announcement. At the same time, the administration's control of information about aliens can be explained by a case that occurred 10 years ago. In 2011, the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations was quite officially confirmed by the FBI, which declassified part of the archives about the 1947 UFO crash near the American city of Roswell. Before presenting their archive to the public, Bureau officials thoroughly removed all conclusions and recommendations from there. Moreover, for a long time, the U.S. authorities were mainly accused of withholding aliens' knowledge. Most of the ufological rumors were about Dwight Eisenhower. It was suspected that he was the first influential person to enter into diplomatic relations with space aliens. The theory of the president's connections with strangers was proved by William Milton Cooper, then serving as a military advisor to the U.S. administration. He reported that as early as 1954, Eisenhower had engaged in a treaty relationship with a civilization of gray aliens from a planet orbiting the star Betelgeuse in the constellation Orion. Hence, evidence then emerged that the leaders of many nations had established contact with extraterrestrials. Consequently, an alliance was formed that examined the problem of aliens and guarded their secrets. In 1991, R. Schneider, director of the Geneva Institute for Planetary Fusion, released the report of the same Milton Cooper secret government. It declared that from 1947 to 1952 year in just one area of the U.S., landed about a half-dozen alien ships. Some crashed, others landed accidentally. It is important to emphasize that the authorities have not explained this fact. The paper affirmed the reality of a secret world power, which had concluded a treaty with the members of the Second World. According to this agreement, the initiates received some advanced technology in exchange for permission to use humans for research. Thus, this testimony demonstrates that the UFO conspiracy theory exists and that authorities are attempting to hide it from citizens to control people and secure their welfare. Conclusion. Thus, it is possible to deduce that the evidence fully supports the government's reasons for concealing the facts of the existence of aliens and the long and strong connections with them. Consequently, the conspiracy theory explains why the authorities removed the data before publishing the FBI archives. At the same time, many years after he witnessed the events, the former astronaut's narrative also demonstrates that government agencies forbade him to announce the facts that he saw on the job. Moreover, the involvement of the U.S. administration and most of the nations of the world in this conspiracy theory has also been confirmed. Therefore, this evidence indicates that withholding information from the public is required by developed states to continue to control the citizens and achieve their interests.